Clearly, I can't leave well enough alone. I am going to go through the direct method on Gruntled shoes, at least hopefully somewhat quickly. So again, when we're doing the direct method, we can ignore, since we've already done the investing section and the financing section, we can ignore these when doing the direct method because we've already done them. I mean, they will be exactly the same. If I ask you to prepare a statement of cash flows direct method, these two will look exactly the same. The only one that will look different is the operating section. And we hope when we get done with the direct method that our total will come up to 224, and it will if we're lucky. All right. So let's get started. Let's look at our income statement. So let's see what we want to label stuff. So we can say cash from customers. Okay. That's our first one, which says cash used for inventory. Gross margin was the subtotal. We can know. Let's look at cash used for operating expenses. And we said we were going to ignore the equipment sold, and we're going to ignore the gain on the sale of the land. So we have got the accounts we're going to look at. So we'll start with the customers. And I am always going to start with the sales to customers of 820. So this is the revenue from my income statement. And now I need to figure out what balance sheet accounts to pull in. Well, if I look at my facts here, accounts receivable relates entirely to customers. So I am going to look at this accounts receivable right here. And this is the one adjustment I think I need to make. Inventory, that's for cost of goods sold. The accounts payable, that's also for cost of goods sold, because in my facts it says accounts payable relates to purchases of inventory. The depreciation expense, it's included in the accrued liabilities, so I'm going to put this in the accrued liabilities account. And this would be accrued liabilities account also, or my other operating expenses. Sorry, I should call that the other operating expenses. Let me erase those there. They're the other operating, and call that the other operating. Okay. And I'm going to ignore that, and I'm going to ignore that. All right. So yeah, I'm good. So I'm going to pick up the $10 there. So just $10, and it was a positive number, so it's 830. So and this was the accounts receivable, so $830 from customers. So for my inventory, I'm going to pick up, the first thing I'm going to look is my cost of goods sold number from my income statement, and that was $390, and I'm going to put a negative on that because I know it's an expense. Let me look back here now on 39, and I'm going to pick up the inventory, which was a negative 20, and the accounts payable, which is a negative 14. Okay, so going back to the next page, a negative 20 for the accounts payable, or for the, let's just say negative 20, and let's just say a negative 14. The inventory was the 20, and the accounts payable was the 14. Short-term memory loss, add up all those together, and it is a negative 424. So we had cash paid for inventory, or cash used for inventory, of a negative $424. And the last one we have are expenses. Okay, we'll look at our income statement, other operating expenses of 210, the other ops of 210, and again, expenses are negative numbers. I'm going to jump back to my indirect method, change my color. We're going to pick up the positive 4, which is for accrued liabilities, and positive 24 for depreciation expense. Okay, let's jump back here then. For depreciation expense, I want to change colors. So for the depreciation expense, it's a positive 24 because depreciation expense always gets added back. In the accrued liabilities are a positive 4. Add all those up, and we get a negative 182. So and then 182. So the 830, negative 424, negative 822 is a positive 224. And let's see, make sure that that balances out. 224. Yes, sirree. It matches. So the 224 here in our indirect method for cash from operation equals the cash from operations using our direct method, and we are super happy, right? Super happy. All right, we are done with all the videos with respect to the statement of cash flows.